Hello, everybody.
Taxes. So aside from inventory purchases or Amazon fees, taxes can be a huge expense to your business. So oftentimes it's the second or third largest expense of your business. The sneaky thing is it's due April 15th typically. So, you might not realize, hey, I made a bunch of money and now I got April 15th here. I got to pay, $100,000 to the IRS. How am I going to come up with that money? So, we like to plan ahead and figure out what you're going to owe. I put this in here. So there is a pretty cool move. If you don't care about where you're living, you can move to Puerto Rico and pay approximately a 4% income tax rate. But, I've tried to get my family to do it. They won't go with me. So can't all go to Puerto Rico. So, and then finally, taxes are going up. There's a bill that's on the president's desk right now, which will increase taxes for those who make a bunch of money. So it's a good time to be thinking about taxes, and the year's not over, so there's still time to implement some things to reduce your tax liability. All right, so I have a little fine print in here. This is the legal mumbo jumbo. What I share here, we're CPAs, so we're going to be relatively conservative and not give you anything super aggressive, but how you implement it is kind of your own thing. And what you do with the information is not, you can't hold me liable. So, all right, that being said, let me jump back. So let's talk about R&D tax credits. This one I see not a lot of people utilize in the e-commerce space, because when you hear R&D, you think like, high-tech companies or things like that. But the definition is actually very broad, and I'll kind of talk through that at a high level. So I have a picture here. It's kind of it's a little bit of the Wild West in how these are utilized because of the definition. So let me kind of share what that looks like. So, there's no practical guidance from the IRS on what kind of documentation you need to have for this. With R&D tax credits, the way it works is you get, let's say you spend $100,000 on R&D type expenses in the US, you're going to get a credit between 12 and 16% of that on the dollar. So, you're going to get $12,000 or $16,000 credit, somewhere in that range if you spend 100,000. So it's a decent amount, if you're spending money on this. The key point here, the R&D activity has to occur within the US. So it can't be done overseas and so forth. So as far as kind of what you might be asking, what qualifies as a research activity? So there's kind of this 4-part test here that's like, I don't know, when you read it, it's very vague and general, and it's like, what does that even mean? But I'll kind of give you some examples after this. But the 4-part test, you can read it here. It's must be an allowable expense, is undertaken for the purpose of discovering information which is technological in nature. When you read that, it's very general and vague, which is why there's some opportunity for e-commerce businesses to take this. So I'll give you some concrete examples so that you can think about this. And really, if you have an accountant, then this is a conversation you might want to have with them. Can I take advantage of R&D expenses? Some of these things we're talking about here, if you are doing them, then our recommendation is typically to take the credit, because a credit is always better than a deduction. So yeah, if they're not willing to take it, then that's a whole nother issue. But if you're doing these things in the US, then you might as well take the credit. So things like manufacturing products, if you're doing this, if you're manufacturing overseas, then that's a whole that really wouldn't qualify. But if you were designing molds or processes here in the US, software development also qualifies for this. Anytime you talk about software developed in the US, I automatically think of R&D activities. So applying for patents, testing new concepts, developing new technology. There's a whole plethora of things here which qualify for it. So if you're not taking them, you might want to, there's some definite opportunity if you're doing these types of things to take this credit. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on R&D.
I would just say that our company this year saved over $300,000 in taxes on R&D, and last year was a little bit higher as we were finishing some of our software implementation. And it could even be like basic software, like contractors that you get from Upwork for whatever your needs are, any tools that you're going to create, any ideas you have, like some of the Chrome extensions you see out there, just some even basic formulas like printing FN SKUs is considered a software if you're printing it outside of Seller Central, like things like that. So they're huge opportunities.
Yep. Yeah, they want to, a lot of the tax code, the reason is the way it is, they want to incentivize you to have certain behaviors. So this is their incentive for you to, develop new things, new software, processes, formulas, etc. So yeah, definitely, if you're not taking advantage of them, huge opportunity for you to save on taxes. Okay. All right, I'm going to give you some meat here. So let's jump into the top 3 tax strategies. Just, these are, and when I say top, I just mean, kind of some easy, low-hanging fruit for your business. We can usually save you some money. So let's talk about the Augusta rule. So essentially, part of the tax code allows you to rent your personal property to anyone, including your business, for up to 14 days a year tax-free. So things like board meetings, Christmas parties, strategic planning meetings, things like that. The company can pay you for the use of your home.
Great call. Another great call. Appreciate all of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you got any questions, hit us in the Facebook group, and we'll see you all next week. Same time, same place.
Night all.
All right. Have a good evening.
Good night.
I'll see you at the top.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, Lit.